Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gonzii and today we are going to be reacting to another Lindsay Nikole banger, bro. This time called Frogs I Think That You Will Like. First of all, I love frogs, bro. But before we start, bro, check out the new camera, bro. No, it's not doing the same one before, but no more webcam nonsense, bro, yeah? We back with a good quality, my boy. So yeah, let's go without further ado. Let's react to Lindsay's new banger.
Check out this shirt. Damn, I love
That
frogs.
shirt's sick.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say you do too.
Yes.
You clicked on this
Love
video.
frogs,
You must
mate.
feel at least above neutral about frogs. I mean, how could you not? They're cute as fuck.
Oh my
Introducing
God,
some
they're
cute
so
frogs
cute.
is actually one of the first things I did when I started making TikToks in 2020. I think the first video was tardigrades, then it was some deep sea specimens, and then it was the frogs in this video. And that video did pretty well. Granted, I gave about like 5 seconds of information for each frog, so I decided it is time to present them in a slightly longer format,
Okay.
giving you a bit more than 5 seconds of information per frog.
Makes
So,
sense.
Sit back and relax while I introduce you to some frogs I think that you will like. Also,
Bro,
I finished
looking
the setup.
kind of
Got a lot of
swole,
comments
you
about the
know?
base not
Look
being
at
in the video
that. Let's
anymore.
go.
It
New
literally
camera.
doesn't fit.
I'm
This
feeling
frame
myself.
is
Let's
way too
go.
fucking big. So, got my little travel guitar here instead. Maybe the bass will make an appearance in a
Drink
later
water, by
video
the
now
way.
that we all have the
Come
same
on, mate.
understanding that
Hey.
it's not going to look like it fits. With that being said, let's get the general information out of the way. Frogs are amphibians, and as you probably know, amphibians notoriously need water. The word
Yes,
amphibian
they
literally
do,
means
because they
in
live
both water
in
and
water
land.
and
you
on
can kind of think of
land.
them as the first group to emerge from the vertebrate transition from water to land. Remember the lobe-finned fish to tetrapods that we talked about a couple weeks ago? And so, not surprisingly, they still relied on the water for various aspects of their bodies and lifestyles. And even though some of these early tetrapods eventually evolved into forms that didn't really rely on water at all, this half-and-half lifestyle just so happened to be successful enough to survive and evolve in its own ways over hundreds of millions of years. One of these amphibious innovations was the frog form. The earliest
That's
record
the
of
most
frog
frog
shape comes
frog
from an
I've
animal
ever
that was
seen.
alive in the Triassic period, called Triatobatrachus,
The first
alive about
frog.
250 million
Wow.
years ago. But the true frog group seems to have appeared much later than this, scientifically called a neura, somewhere between
That
220
blue
to
one's
180
sick.
million years ago. And since then, frogs have evolved to live spread the fuck out at the tops
Okay.
of trees at high elevations, in
Facts.
desert sands, but all still
Facts.
rely on that precious water for their skin and other things.
Sorry.
And that's not to say that other things don't rely on water. Obviously, everything
Cat.
alive relies on water in one way or another. Don't do an all
Don't
lives
cat.
need water in the comments, please. This video is about frogs only. The largest frog alive that we know of is the Goliath frog,
Hey,
which can get
yo.
to about a foot long and weigh about 7 pounds. And the largest to ever exist
3
that we know of
kg. Are
actually
you
wasn't that
mad?
much bigger, called Beelzebufo, alive about 70
Beelzebufo.
million years ago. in
Bro, if
Western
you play
Madagascar.
Ark,
They got
you
to
know
about
them
16
man
inches
then.
long.
Yeah,
about
man.
10 pounds. So, not crazy size, but still likely large enough to take down small little reptiles,
Lizards
and maybe
and all
even
that.
baby dinosaurs alive during the
Lizard,
time. So there
bro.
seems to be some sort of restriction to the maximum frog size limit,
Yeah.
but the minimum frog size
Whoa.
limit is almost non-existent.
I'm gonna have to shrink between the molecules to get in there.
But I'm gonna save that for the end of the video, because I want to go in depth on the smallest frog to ever exist that we know of. What I would rather do right now, really quick, is a super quick general rundown of the frog life cycle. I know
Okay.
we learned this shit in like kindergarten,
Yes.
but it's easy to forget shit you learned in
Tadpole
kindergarten because
and
you look
that.
back and realize half the memories you have.
Then they have
maybe
tail.
like a crazy
They
dream
don't
you
have
had
tail
about
anymore,
an
then just
elephant-sized spider
frog.
that you thought was real.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Or your imaginary friend named Max, who was some sort of
I didn't
bear
know
cat
have
who was, like,
imaginary
6 feet
friends,
tall
you
and wore a
know.
red
I never
sweatshirt
had
and a hat.
that. That I remember. At
So, let me
least.
just run through it real quick. So frogs generally reproduce via external fertilization,
Yes.
i.e. they do not bang. Generally,
No,
the female
no banging,
will release
bro.
eggs into a body of water, then the male releases sperm to fertilize them,
Yes.
just tossing shit around, hoping for the best. And a lot of things can go wrong when you do that.
That's
So a
a
popular
fact.
solution in the frog community to increase accuracy is to get into a mating position called amplexus, where the male piggybacks the female and fertilizes the eggs as she releases them. Males are usually small. They are the little guys. So they do the piggybacking. So the fertilized eggs are in the water, in numbers, in like the thousands, in a little egg clump that has this nutritious jelly to protect the eggs and also keep them moist. Kind of looks like chia pudding, but it's not. Do not eat it.
Don't eat it.
During this stage,
Don't
their tail
eat
starts
it,
to
bro.
develop. So, if you can't tell the difference between a frog spawn and a chia pudding, chia seeds do not have tails.
That's a fact.
Then the eggs hatch into tadpoles, and they get equipped quick with gills.
Hmm.
The tail gets longer and stronger, and the hind limbs start sprouting out. The lungs develop, and then skin grows over the gills.
Okay.
Gills are donezo. After several weeks or a few months or so, the tadpoles develop into froglets. Yes,
Froglets. Wow.
Real thing, and they are as cute as they sound. During this baby frog phase, they kind of hang out around land. Their
Okay.
tail shortens. Their front and back limbs are fully formed, and they stay this way for a while until they develop into adult frogs. This is all generally. This is like the general frog blueprint. There are always exceptions. I'm not speaking for all frogs, just the stereotypical frog. Also, real quick, you might have heard that frogs breathe through their skin. That's because they technically have 3 respiratory tools. Their lungs that they use while bopping around the lake, the lining of their mouth when they are resting, and their skin when they are fully submerged in water. That's why you might have also heard people talking about being careful when you handle frogs, or better yet, not handling them at all. Skin is very important for everything that has skin, of course. But they've got even more shit going on with their skin. So, just be mindful of the frog's skin. Alright, let's get into the frogs. Starting off with a fan favorite frog, the desert rain frog. Found on the coast of South Africa and Namibia. They love sand, especially wet sand, because they are frogs.
Sandy
They
boys.
tend to be found in areas with a lot of sea fog.
Sand.
Not frogs.
Sand
Because the ground
sucks.
wet makes the sand stick to them. Then the frogs can absorb the wet through their bellies. Sea fog for the frogs. Desert rain frogs are about 2.5 inches long max.
He's so
which is, for
tiny.
reference, about the size of a standard American billiard ball, or even smaller. They use their short, squat legs to dig through the wet sand and dig deeper to new wet sand if their sand dries out. And despite looking like a squeaky toy,
They do
actually have
look like a
distinct
squeaky
bellow.
toy, bro.
It has often been described as a warrior's call.
Nah, man, he sounds like a squeaky toy as well. You just want to fucking squish him, bro.
Chilling and formidable.
It's so
Another
cute.
fan favorite frog is actually the cousin to the desert rain frog. It's the, you guessed it, black rain frog, also known as the avocado that had a
Bro,
dick, the Eeyore
not the
of the rain
avocado
frog.
frog,
Other than
dude.
the sandy shores the desert rain frog calls home, the black rain frog prefers the shrublands of the western and eastern Cape provinces in South Africa. And I couldn't find any videos of what they sound like, but I'm gonna take a wild guess. Say they probably sound like this.
Shout out to the editor. Bro, they sound like static.
Understandable. Have a great day.
Alright, moving on to a whole different category of frog I think that you will like. The Amazon milk frog. For reasons I can't explain, they look very refreshing.
Never seen that
to
one
me.
before.
You know, like refreshing in a way a Baja Blast looks refreshing. Very
Bro,
thirsty,
your smoke
quenching,
is
like
blue.
bleach in a video game. The Amazon milk frog is found in the Amazon rainforest
Amazon.
and get their other
Makes
name
sense.
milk. Not because they are drinkable, unfortunately,
Sadly.
but because they ooze a milk-like
Whoa.
poisonous substance when threatened.
Yeah, cool.
Nice.
They spend the majority of their life in the
Nice.
trees. They got those big toe pads for climbing, and luckily, being a small little guy in the Amazon
they're
rainforest
tiny
means
as
it's
well.
fairly easy to find
Like
a
this,
tree
bro.
cavity filled with water to conduct business in. Males will call out for the females in a water cavity on a clear night.
Why does he sound like
Lucky,
a
the
donkey,
female will
bro?
toss her eggs in, he'll fertilize them, and they dip. Alright, the next one on our lineup is probably as alien as frogs can get, but still very cool, and I think that you will like them. The glass frogs.
Oh
The family of
yes,
tree frogs
they
found
have
in the forests of Central and South
see-through
America. As
bellies,
their name
bro. I've
suggests,
seen these
some of the
before.
members of this
They're cute,
family have a
man.
glassy appearance, i.e. translucent undersides. So much so that
Look
you
at
can
that,
see
you can
their
see the
internal
organs, bro.
which
Yeah.
is nuts.
Jinx.
They're one of, if not the only animals on land with this glassy characteristic that we know of. And this is obviously a great quality to have. I would say they're probably not the only ones, because the other ones that probably exist have not been found yet because they look invisible.
Yeah. Oh.
The translucency
Whoa,
of the frog's
that
undersides
was
allows them
sick.
to appear
That
lighter or
was
darker,
nice. That
depending
was
on the shade of
wild.
green the frog is set upon. And
What
their
a
legs have even
coincidence,
more
bro.
of a blending effect. The outline of the frog kind of becomes muddy, almost to the point where you have to know a frog is there to even start looking for it. This technique is known as edge diffusion, which is exactly how it sounds. The edges are diffused. Can't see shit. Can't see one thing standing out from another. It's not exactly
I mean, I
camouflage,
can,
but more of
I
a
can,
camouflage
but, like,
enhancement.
it's tough
This
if you
not
don't
only
know the
works
frog's
for
there,
birds
yeah.
and other predators in the Amazon rainforest, but also humans too. In 2020, scientists had a group of people look at computer-generated pictures of these glass frogs with varying levels of translucency and try to find the frogs as fast as possible. They had the hardest time with the frogs that had the same degree of translucency as the glass frogs. We are but another predator in the rainforest, and we get fooled as well. This
Makes
next one
sense.
holds a very special place in my heart, as it is the icon of Puerto Rico. Despite my appearance, I am half Puerto Rican. I know I don't
Ooh,
look
shout
it,
out
I
Puerto
also don't speak a
Rico.
lot of Spanish,
Shout
but
out.
I have loved this frog since the first time I visited Puerto Rico when I was 6. This frog I speak of is the coqui,
Whoa,
named after the sound of the
coqui.
male's calls. They
Wow.
sound like this. Cute as fuck. So the co and the key are kind of done separately. The co more for
That one's
establishing
cute,
territory,
man.
kind of more directed at other males, keeping males out of their business, while the key attracts the ladies.
Oh.
There's 16 different species on the island, and they all do these calls at different times of the day, and they are 1 to 2 inches long. They also have super big toe pads, which definitely
My
adds
neck
to them being
hurts.
cute as fuck. And these help navigate the trees and plants they
They're
reside in. They're not
tiny as
really
well.
attached to water as much as their other frog brethren. They lay their eggs in the trees and on plant leaves, and kind of got rid of the tadpole stage. They just hatch as a full-on froglet. The most abundant species on this island by far is the common coqui. And when I say abundant, I mean abundant. The U.S. Forest Service listed their estimated density at over 20,000 individuals per hectare, which is unfathomable. So at night, you can hear their calls all over the island. And I don't mean like they're at a distance. I mean they are right outside your window.
Coqui?
They're accompanying you on your walk to the convenience store, and Puerto Ricans love it. It's a really cozy and nostalgic sound, especially for Puerto Ricans who grew up there and left. There's no other animal cherished as much as the coqui in Puerto Rico. Coquis elsewhere, though, is a different story. As you would expect from a small, abundant, and often elusive creature, the coquis have made it to a different island, or group of islands. Yeah. Hawaii. They hitchhiked on plants all the way across the world.
I want to go to Hawaii, you know.
Literally perfect for that.
I would love to learn the language as well.
No natural competition or predators. And insects served on a silver platter to feast on. And Hawaii soon became Coqui City. They took it the fuck over. With populations reaching 55,000 individuals per hectare in some areas. Double the density that they have in Puerto Rico. And Hawaiians do not like this.
I mean, they're probably invasive, right?
While some people have accepted the noise and have learned to drown it out, others describe the sound as deafening and infernally evil hellspawn that must be proactively and aggressively destroyed. The Hawaiian government describes it as a loud, incessant, and annoying call from dusk to dawn. They are, if you haven't guessed already, an invasive species. I would love to hear your experience if you've been in an area with coquis like this, so let me know your opinion in the comments. And now, on to the tiniest frog in our lineup, who unfortunately doesn't have a common name yet, so I'm gonna leave it up to you. It's called Pedophrenia amurensis, and Nat Geo called it a fly-sized beast. So maybe for now we're gonna call it the beast. The beast gets to about 7.7 millimeters long on average, making it the smallest frog in the world that we know, and also possibly the smallest vertebrate. But there is a male anglerfish species, Photocornis spinoceps, that is slightly smaller. I want to say in the 6 to 7 millimeter range, but it's just the male anglerfish. So, I don't know if that really counts. They are, at best, a growth on the underside of a female. I guess technically that counts. I don't know. Which really begs the question, what are these heinous mysteries of the deep that people fear about deep-sea exploration? Seems like the animals are not so much bigger than you can imagine, but smaller than you can imagine.
That we know of,
6 millimeter long fish. Absolutely twisted. Anyway, back to the beast, which is very much on land, in wet leaf litter on the island of New Guinea. It seems as though they might have evolved to access the untapped meat market of mega small invertebrates that no one eats because they're too small, i.e. mites. The beast is very much capable of eating mites. And you know what? I'm happy for that. And I hope they make you ponder what other
bro, that's so tiny
to be discovered. Maybe there is one in the room with you right now.
Maybe.
And before I end the video, I want to talk to you about a group I used to volunteer with when I was 19 called the Lovejoy Foundation. They're a no-kill animal shelter in Inglewood, California.
Shout out to the Lovejoy Foundation,
Erin
man.
Lovejoy
Shout out.
For as long as I can remember, because I went to elementary school with her son Cole, and she is a bad bitch. She's been running this foundation for almost 15 years now. I used to go there like 3 times a week to help out with behavior training for the dogs that were getting ready for adoption. And spending all that time there, Erin was a really inspiring voice for me early on in my journey to zoology. And right now they're having a really hard time feeding all the dogs. Donations aren't coming in as consistently as usual because a lot of people have a hard time. So I wanted to spread the word here and see if you have the means, if you'd be down to donate or send them a bag of food or whatever you're capable of. Any amount that's comfortable for you. This is not sponsored at all. I've kept up with them since I volunteered there, and I really care about their mission and the dogs and want to use my platform to help spread the word. Erin said the easiest thing right now for them to accept is Amazon wishlist donations, so I will put that link in the description. They have lots of stuff they need.
Link down below.
$16 bags
down below.
That they said are the most necessary.
All the links about this will be in the description.
And I know they would.
If Lindsay backs it, I back it. One of the dogs that I really
connected with there, named Chase, I spent the most time with him. I wanted to adopt him, but I was 19 and I was living with my parents and I was in between one college and another. And I actually ended up helping adopt him out to a family in LA, and this was like 8 years ago, I think, and I've kept up with them since. And whenever they go out of town, I watch him. And so Lovejoy Foundation has a very, very special place in my heart, so I appreciate it if you can help. They are amazing. Erin,
shout out to the Lovejoy Foundation, man.
And if you liked this video, be sure to subscribe.
Go subscribe
next episode
to Lindsay, man. She's amazing.
Hopefully next week, but the research this time is unusually fucking nuts. So we'll see. Check out my Patreon for behind the scenes updates and my Discord server. And for now, stay curious. The world has a lot for us to learn. See ya!
Shout out Lindsay, man. She's one of the good ones, man. Shout out. But yeah, guys, that was Lindsay Nikole talking about froggos. Froggos are sick. But yeah, guys, before I go though, I need to tell you that go to the description below if you can help the Lovejoy Foundation. If Lindsay backs it, I back it. go help them, go support them. If you can, go subscribe to Lindsay as well. But before we go, don't forget our viewers on the channel, bro. Come on, man. Keep God first as always. Drink water, go tell somebody you love them, and if you don't know what to do, man, like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Gonzii, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.